Hey guys, what's up? It's Greg Sruzavosti with the Find Your Film podcast. Two interviews for this installment. Kasey Suarez, she is currently, as we speak, she's a teenager. 3 years ago, she was 10 or 11, and she was the co-lead in a movie called Notice to Quit. So 3 years later, Notice to Quit is finally out in theaters. And I mean that in a positive sense because this is an indie film shot on 35 and beautiful to look at. It's set in New York on a hot, sweltering day. And I just really love this movie. I'll talk more about the plotline and whatnot in a few moments. But that is the first interview I had with Kasey Suarez for Notice to Quit. Movie out in theaters again this weekend. Second interview is with Alexia Moyano. She plays a researcher in this movie called My Penguin Friend. If you haven't heard about this movie, it's a perfect family film. And I will actually have a link because as of this recording, I have 3 digital codes to offer of My Penguin Friend. I want to steal one of them for myself because this would have been a great movie to watch with my 8-year-old niece. But no, I legitimately have 3 digital codes that I want to give away to fellow cinephiles. I will have a link in the show notes where you can go to the giveaway and enter this My Penguin Friend 3 digital code contest. Okay, now, what is My Penguin Friend about? I will talk about that once we get to the interview with Alexia Moyano. But right now, here is a little bit of information on Notice to Quit. It is written and directed by filmmaker Simon Hacker. Again, like I said, it's set in New York, and it centers on this real estate. I don't even want to say he's a real estate agent, but he's just a very corrupt and shady. I don't even know if he's well-meaning because he's, for most of the movie, highly unlikable. But him being unlikable is part of the comedy behind Notice to Quit. So the guy is Andy Singer. He's a former actor, and now he's a struggling New York City realtor. And what he does is when I said corrupt, he sells appliances to a contact that he has for, I guess, a few bucks here and there. And that's not it's not following the rules of the law. So from the get-go, from the jump, Andy Singer is not exactly playing fair. And I'm sure he probably thinks that life isn't fair. So why not try to make it fair by selling appliances or maybe lying or stretching the truth a bit with some of his clients regarding the dilapidated places in New York that he's trying to pawn off to his prospective clients. It's on this day, on a hot New York day, where everything is not working for Andy. His landlord in his own apartment wants to kick him out because he's behind in payments. And suddenly his estranged 10-year-old daughter, played by Kasey Suarez, she shows up and she wants to hang out with her dad. So now Andy Singer, who's already he's a narcissist, but he's so stressed during this day. He has to close a couple of deals. He has to make money. He has to make sure that he does not get kicked out of his apartment. All of that said, he has to take care of his 10-year-old daughter for this 24-hour period. So that is the drama and the entertainment behind Notice to Quit. Really good interview I had with Kasey Suarez, and it's really cool to see this teenager who has big dreams of being an actress. She's a standout in this movie, a natural actress, and it'll be interesting to follow her career down the road. I wish I interviewed that filmmaker Simon Hacker because I would have asked him so many filmic questions. But Kasey Suarez, give this one a listen. You'll see how really well composed, and she's a lot more composed than me and mature she is. And most importantly, tell me what you think of Notice to Quit, which is, again, out this weekend in theaters. And I'll have all of that information in the show notes. All right, here is Kasey Suarez in 3, 2, 1. So I'm here with Kasey Suarez, the co-lead of this very interesting and entertaining movie called Notice to Quit. 2-part question for you just right off the bat. 3 years ago, what type of emotions were you feeling when you learned that you got the role? Do you remember that day, and what was that moment like for you?
Well, that day, we got the phone call from my agent, and I was with my family. I didn't even expect it at all. And they were like, oh, well, you booked the role, and, like, congratulations. And it was my first lead role or, like, movie or anything. And I think the first thing I looked to my left and my dad's just like bawling. I think that's the most I've ever seen my dad cry. And I was so excited. Like, I don't know. I had like so much emotions like coming.
Okay, your dad, obviously, you're the most important person. Unconditional love. He loves you. He's bawling. Why are you not bawling on that? Were you bawling?
I think when I'm like in shock, I just like my face just like drops and my emotions are very delayed. So I think my emotions like come out after everybody else's. So I see my parents and they're crying, my brother's crying, and then it just hit me. Like I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be in a movie. I'm gonna be in a movie. And I was so excited. And then obviously I started crying.
It's not just a movie, it's a very good movie as well. So that's a very good thing. Now, the second part of that question is September 27th, it hits theaters. We're not even talking about streaming or digital, and I love those platforms, but what's that feeling like to know that maybe 3 years later it's coming out into theaters? And will you be at your local theater on opening day?
Yes, as soon as it comes out, we're going to be in those theater doors. We're going to be so excited. And the fact that it's coming out nationwide, we're just like, the whole team's excited. My family's so excited. And if we could, we could travel to every single theater and watch the movie over and over again because it's just that good.
The one thing I really loved about your character is Anna is she has a lot of patience with her dad, and he's going through a lot of stuff. He is a lot of times he's very selfish, but I think she sees through that of the person he could be, and she realizes deep down that I have a pretty good dad who loves me. I mean, how did you tap into those emotions, and was that great playing those emotions with your character?
Well, definitely like reading the characters like perspective on everything. I could tell that she loves her dad. I think her dad's her main priority. Knowing that she's moving to Florida with her mom, the first thing she wanted to do was visit her dad. And she's always been patient with her dad since she knows her dad very well. And I think it doesn't really matter, however, how her dad like acts towards her. It's just the fact that she's spending time with her dad that's like really special with her. Like I think that's something that's like carries with her. And I think that was very easy to carry with me since I love my dad. And Michael was like a dad to me on set. And it was just very easy. Like we connected very well. So that connection was definitely there.
On connection, I'm assuming New York is your hometown. So I have a couple of, as a West Coaster who I've only been to New York several times. So please educate me on a couple of things. First off, without giving the scene away, was that a real cockroach? Because that scared me. Can you just talk about that scene without giving too much away? Was it real? So.
The cockroach wasn't real because I'm very deeply scared of bugs. So it was like a green screen cockroach just like crawling. And I just had to pretend that I was just seeing something. I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And it was just funny being frightened at nothing.
Thank goodness. Second part of that question is how valuable are AC units in New York, no matter what location you're in or what borough you live? It seems like a reality that AC units are very hard to come by. And I tried to install an AC unit and something happened to me kind of like that in the movie as well. Can you speak to that? How important are they? So.
Definitely putting an AC unit is very difficult. I mean, I could never do it. I'm just a 14-year-old girl. I'm not that strong. But yeah, no, it's very important to have in your New York apartment, especially when it gets hot all the time in the summer. So I think just like selling those houses and everything was very, very important to have in the apartments with the AC units. And I think that's why he was stealing them.
There's a couple of times when I think, if I recall, your character was mentioning, Anna was mentioning how hot she was. Was it really hot shooting in New York? Probably a dumb question because it seemed hot. I'm sure it was hot. How did you and the cast and crew get through that shooting on the streets with all that heat on you? Assumedly so, I think.
It was very hot. Yes. The New York weather is just humid and wet and sticky everywhere. But at some point when the season started to like get to fall and it was like getting cold, because we did shoot in the summer, they had to start spraying like glycerin on me, which made my like face all sticky and stuff. And it was really gross, but it definitely gave off the effect of sweat. So at least people watching the movie can know that it was summer.
Kasey, not many actors ever get the chance to even star in a movie with a lead role. So I'm assuming with your journey in this movie several years back, you learned a lot as an actor. Looking back, what are some of the most valuable lessons that you took from that project that you can move forward with your career as far as insights and learning lessons?
I think I wish I'd known like from the beginning that I can definitely contribute to each scene what I think is the best choice or option to do in this line or the next line or in the next scene or in this scene. And I think I wish I've known that because I think I could have had more input in every scene. And just like looking at Michael doing that, and he was changing his lines because he thought this would be better, and it was better, and it made it more natural. I didn't learn that since like midway through the movie, and I think it just made the movie way better. And just like putting myself into that character, like changing those lines, like each little detail could really help. Like just putting your input in every scene, in every movie, just talking to the director what could be better, was definitely helpful. So that's something I would have changed.
Well, that's really interesting because it's been 3 years. You've grown since then as a person, as an actor. So that said, how satisfied are you with the overall movie? Because you talk about your parents and family crying. I'm sure they saw some kind of cut of the movie. How pleased were you, and how great was it to see your family just revel in the joy of your performance and the movie as well?
I thought, like, first seeing it, I was like, oh my gosh, I was so little. And I didn't, like, I kind of expected myself to, like, be a little, like, cringy-ish because I was so young and I didn't really know that much. But, like, just seeing that it was, like, my first lead role in the movie, I was actually really proud of myself because the way I just, like, carried myself throughout the movie, it was really nice. And my parents saw that too, and they were really proud of me. And yeah.
Yeah. And so now, where do you see yourself as an actor? Is this your number one dream moving forward? And you're older now, you're more mature. Where do you see acting as far as your priorities in life go?
Well, acting has always been my number one. As a kid, I've always wanted to be like, oh, I want to be on that screen. I want to be on that billboard. I want to be in everywhere. I want to see my face everywhere. And just seeing myself like in this one movie on the big screen, it just means so much. I think like as like a little child, I've always just wanted to like see myself. Like in videos, I would like talk to myself in front of the mirror, like, and I would just vlog myself for like 3 hours just talking. I had so much to talk about. And just seeing me talking on a bigger screen instead of like my iPad or my phone, it means so much to me. And definitely moving forward, that's all I really want to do, just focusing myself on acting. And yeah, it just really makes me happy. Like, not even just seeing myself on screen, just getting to know more people. And acting has really helped me like open myself up to talking more, and it's just helped me with everything really. Yeah.
Look, for people not in the know regarding acting, is doing big emotional scenes where your character is vulnerable and just at her barest moment, was that scene hard? Were those scenes hard to do, or are they a lot easier to do than some people would think because you get to really show your emotions? Is it complex or a lot more simple than people who don't know about acting think? So.
I think for a lot of people it can be very easy, but for me it was very difficult trying to like connect myself to that character, like her, like you said, the most vulnerable moments, and like her crying to her dad or crying about her dad or crying about moving to Florida. It's just all those moments kind of piece together why she was broken in the first place about moving to Florida. So for me it was easy trying to get to that place, but just like it was kind of difficult, like portraying those emotions. Yes.
Okay, so final couple of questions. Just right off the top of your head, can you name one of your all-time favorite movies, and what is it about this specific movie that is very special to you?
My favorite movie. I have like a few cartoon movies. I think my all-time favorite and a lot of kids' favorites is Rapunzel. I think it just like healed my inner child. But as like a real movie, I would say Little Woman. That was my favorite movie ever. I mean, it just really like it portrayed romance, and just all the characters in that movie were just so amazing. And I keep rewatching that over and over with my mom. We love that movie so much.
Okay, so final couple of things. Just on a selfish note, my niece, who I love dearly, she's only 8. So can you tell me what is it about Rapunzel that healed you? Because I definitely will take that recommendation and we're going to watch it together. What is it so special about that? So thank you.
Well, of course, when I was little, I had the longest hair ever, like down to my ankles. Well, I'm probably over exaggerating, but I was like, oh my gosh, I look exactly like Rapunzel. And I didn't. I would rewatch that movie over and over again. And I had like the little lizard plushie on my like shoulder and everything just to be like her. And just her as a character, so funny, so honest. And I love everything about her. I think every kid loves Rapunzel. Like, who doesn't love Rapunzel?
Okay, and now final question on your IG. I think you mentioned on one of your posts that Meryl Streep is the GOAT. I'm not going to argue that she is the GOAT, but Where do you see yourself 5, 10 years from now? Do you see yourself down this acting path? And it's a tough business, but you're off to a great start. What is it about acting that will you think that will keep you moving forward 5, 10 years down the road?
Well, I definitely keep to my word. Meryl Streep is the GOAT, but definitely down the road, I hope to see myself pursuing acting, and I think acting has just always been a part of my life. Like I've always loved putting myself in different characters and putting myself in different moods and everything. Like even if it's really hard to do acting, I love it. Like I feel like it's something that just like comes to me very easily, and it comes to a lot of people very easily. And just taking classes, I feel so happy, like improv and drama and comedy and all those type of things. Like all those come together and just make me happy. Like they make me me. So definitely down the road, I hope to be keep doing acting.
And very quickly, is there a secret unlock as an actor where you're working with the cast and crew and you have to hit your mark and you're acting? And is there a way you can actually just tune out all the people looking at you and calm your nerves down? How are you able to do it? How were you able to do that in the movie? And how are you able to do it now, 3 years later?
Well, in the beginning of the movie, since I was like 10 years old or 11 years old, I was very nervous about that. I was like, how am I going to cry in front of all these people? How am I going to yell in front of all these people? And it was definitely a big thing for me that I was so nervous about. But I think the more you get to know those people, the more comfortable you get. And I think just the more connected you are in the scene, you just forget about everything that's around you. You're just like even if you forget your lines, that's how you know you're really in the scene. Your emotions are really like coming to you. You're connected in the character. Even if you stay in character and you forget your lines, it's okay because you're connected in the scene. And I think that was just very important to me. And that's what I always did. Like I always just stayed grounded. I stayed throughout my character and on and offset because it just helped with everything. And connecting with all those people, it made me so comfortable that I just like forgot that they were there. And yeah, I made eye contact with him. And Michael, he was so amazing because he knew I was so young. And he really helped me with my lines. And he was like, just forget. Like if you can't cry right now because of all these people watching, it's okay. It's okay. You're such a good actor. Like you can do this and you can do that. I believe in you. And I think that's what helped me a lot. Like just having such a good environment and like such good people around me that just made me feel so supported. And that's, I think, what helped made the movie really great.
Right. Notice to Quit hits theaters September 27th. Kasey Bella Suarez. Excellent performance. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, so I'm back. My penguin friend. Here's my interview with Alexia Moyano. She's a very talented actress. She plays a plum role in My Penguin Friend as a researcher slash scientist. Is really inspired by this penguin's journey because this penguin in My Penguin Friend, a big oil spill occurs and Din Dim, I believe that is the name of the penguin. Din Dim, right? Let me look right here for the correct pronunciation of Din. Yes, it's Din Dim, the penguin. Oil spill, and what happens is a fisherman played by Jean Reno rescues the penguin, and immediately they form a bond. And this bond is very interesting because Jean Reno's wife, played by Adriana Barraza, she is wondering what is a penguin doing in our domicile for quite a bit of time. So it's very interesting. And what's good is this penguin comes at a really interesting time in the fisherman and his wife's life because they have just years of tragedy behind them in the past, and there's a reason why they are very secluded from the small community that they belong to. And you'll get to see, I'm not going to spoil what happened, but you get to see them, each of them come out of their shell, especially the fisherman, while the penguin stays with them. Now, Din Dim does not only stay in, what is it? I think it's called Ilha Grande, and it's an island in Brazil, right? So that's where the fisherman and his wife lives. But Din Dim also travels from that island and makes a journey all the way to Patagonia. So Din Dim's routine is parts of the year, Din Dim is with the fisherman and his wife and in their small house by the sea. And then when when the seasons change, Din Dim travels to Patagonia. And in Patagonia, that's where the character of Alexia Moyano's character, what is her name? I'm going to look it up right now. Yes, Adriana. Oh, another Adriana. Adriana, played by Alexia Moyano. She's one of the researchers who is very fascinated with Dindim, because Dindim is not exactly like everyone else. Is not Dindim is a very special just animal. So it's an interesting interview with Alexia Moyano. She talks about why My Penguin Friend is a unique film. She also talks about her own journey as an actress. Anyways, here is my interview with Alexia Moyano, and hope you enjoy My Penguin Friend. The digital code giveaway is only available for 3 days. Hopefully, if you're listening to this podcast the first couple of days it was released, you have time to enter this digital codes giveaway. And on this podcast, I will be doing a lot more physical media and digital codes giveaway. So please subscribe to Find Your Film. Thank you guys so much for your support. And yes, here is Alexia Moyano. Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm with Alexia Moyano from My Penguin Friend, a movie that I really loved. Not just me, but millions of people loved. Critics, people who've seen the movie generally love it. It has high ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. What do you think is the secret to why so many people love this movie from your point of view?
Because it's a different movie. It's different. It has another rhythm. It's a story about friendship and love, and hope. And we need to see that. And it's based in a real story. And I think that just keep your heart beat, Okay, this really happened.
Your character has a very good heart, and you mentioned as a child you grew up in the south of Argentina. How did that growing up in a small town help you connect to this character, or maybe this film in general, or maybe there wasn't a connection? Was there a connection?
Yes, it's. I think my connection is really deep, and just because of the things you just told. Adriana, she is in nature. She lives in nature. She lives free. She has a lot of respect for nature. She knows how to observe, how to give time. And I think that I have that because I was born with that time. I was born in a little town. I was on my bike the whole day. I was free. I was in contact with nature. Then when I was 16 years old, I came to the city and my whole life changed, because you have another demands, another things that keep your attention, But I think that deep in myself, I knew what she was speaking about.
In your soul, growing up in a small town, did that help you become a successful actress because you're able to be in the moment and listen to your scene partner, listen to your collaborators and then you have the balance of the city where everything's fast paced, but you still have that soul of being patient and listening. Is that correct? Or maybe I'm guessing here. So
no. I think for me, I don't know, other actors, everyone has a different story, a different background, and everything helps. But for me, and specifically with Adriana, I felt that really helped me. The only thing I had to do is to connect with that Alexia, with that little Alexia that is inside me, where I was born, my childhood.
Yeah. So penguins, do you have any advice for people who actually see a penguin in real life? What has your experience been with penguins? Do you have any advice for people who have never seen a penguin in real life?
Oh, they should go to see them, to visit them. And an advice is that in the movie, they become, Joao helps him, they become friends, but he's free. He's free to choose. And that's very important. You can't get into their space, They are animals that they are in their place. You have to be very respectful with them. For the movie, we work with penguins that they were, they live with people, they were rescued. So they are used to being with people. Because of that, we shoot in 2 places, in Brazil and in the south. In Patagonia, we couldn't touch them because we were in their habitat. In Brazil, they were rescued, so we could get in touch with them. We trained them, and we could work with them.
That's amazing. What really surprised me about My Penguin Friend was there were moments when I got actually very emotional. And I wonder if you saw this with a crowded house, and were you able to just sneak in and see people's reactions to the movie? And how did that make you feel? You must be so proud of this film.
Yes, I am very proud of the film. I think we all are. And really, when I was at the premiere, I had all my makeup on and I was saying, Alexia, you know everything. You read the script hundreds of times. You shoot it. Please don't cry, Alexia. And I realized a lot of people were very touched. We need to just renew our hope every time. and the movie helps you with that,
Yeah. So final couple questions. I was looking on your Instagram. Can you talk about La Mentira, The Lie, and being part of that production? It's in Teatro. So what was
Yes.
that? What has that experience been like? What can you tell our listeners about it? So.
Okay, it's a comedy. It has nothing to do with this. It's a Florian Seller. It's a French playwright, and it's a comedy, and it's just the opposite of the movie. In the movie we speak, and I have a lot of fun doing it. But as the movie speaks to us about our values, friendship, and strong bonds and care. Okay, the play just shows us in a funny way how many times we lie in real life.
Amazing. What joy do you, final couple of questions, what joy do you get as an actress? And has that joy changed over the years as you've become more experienced in your craft?
I'm very curious, very curious. And I love what each role, each project let me learn about, Sometimes this movie, I really got in touch with my deepest self. Then in this play, I just get to think really fast, and that it's quite fun too. Then I have a series that is coming now in October now, where I am a psychologist that is very unstable. And with that, I have to learn a lot about medicines and stuff, and what will happen, and just create a story for my character, just because I was very unstable. And I don't know, another project, I had postpartum depression, and I have to really go deep on that. So I think my job allows me to really understand people and understand different behaviors and where they are rooted.
Yeah. And am I wrong on this? It says here on your IMDb that New York City Independent Film Festival Award Best Supporting Actress for Eternal Sun. Is that correct? And what can you tell our listeners very quickly about it before you go?
Oh, yes. Really, it was a surprise because it's a movie I have done a lot of time ago, but we never finish it. You know how it's independent cinema. Sometimes you have everything and you can't finish. Okay, they finished the movie, they sent it to festivals. And I think, one in New York Independent Film Festival, another one in India, I think, and another one in Kraken, just Kraken Film Festival. It was a really surprise. Yeah. And it's a smile about, a work that I have done ages ago, and it's independent. So I have put all myself in it, and just now it gives me a lot of surprises.
My final question is, and thank you so much for your time, for my Penguin Friend, out on digital and on demand October 1st. But final question is, what is the best piece of acting advice or artistic advice you've received in your life? And how has that helped maybe carry you in being curious as an artist?
Yes, curiosity, I just have it on myself since I was a child. I love reading, I love cinema. I love knowing new stories, thinking what they felt or why they have done this, But the best advice, I think it was, I was doing a theater piece. I was just more than 10 years ago, very young, with a very good Argentinian actress. And I was feeling sick, and I had an understudy of my role. And I was feeling sick, and I was telling the other actress, oh, Claudia, I don't know if I will make it. I'm feeling terrible. I had a terrible night. And my understudy could do it, but I wanted to do it. And I say, okay, I'm going to try. And she told me, Alexia, if you are going to stand up in that stage, you are going to finish the play. And I say, yes, okay. And, if you stand up there, you finish it,
And it's really about strength, right? You have to, because you can have all the talents in the world, but if you're not willing to commit, you're not going to and do the job, then it's not going to work for you, right? Pretty much. Yeah. Alexia, thank you so much for your time. I really love my Penguin Friend.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for this interview. That was very, very nice sharing these thoughts with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And next time I'll be smarter and I'll speak to you in Spanish. So I appreciate it.
Next time.
Next time. Thank you.